Hey, what's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Welcome to D Smith. Let's discuss. Welcome to today's session. Today's session, I want to discuss something that is going under the radar. Somebody is trying to buy UMG, and UMG is selling their stake in Spotify. Think about that. UMG is selling their stake in Spotify, and it kind of makes a whole lot of sense about the bots that are in play, and UMG supported this. But that's a whole nother story. And big shout out to Taylor Swift, who had the foresight years ago. You have to do more for the artist, UMG. You have to do more for the artist. So this is flying under the rug, but I think it's very important that we highlight this and touch on it because things are about to change for the artist, right? And who in the hell is trying to buy UMG? Welcome to the session. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's go.
All right, you guys are asking a lot of questions about Spotify. There's a couple headlines buzzing about that, and we're following your clicks and curiosity. And what it looks like is you guys want to know about a big stake sale for Universal Music Group and how Taylor Swift's so-called Spotify clause is helping artists get paid. So let's break it down. We've got Kelly Carter up first, then we'll chat with Brian West. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Let's start with UMG, set to sell 50% of its Spotify stake. They're expected to get more than $1 billion in revenue for that.
50% of their stake in gonna make $1 billion. The stock price is about to go up for UMG.
Kelly Carter joins me now. She's our source for all things entertainment. Kelly, what's going on? People want to know, why is UMG selling its Spotify stake right now?
Yeah, it really comes down to timing. I mean, Spotify is doing incredibly well. Their stock is strong, and UMG is.
Or has something to do with Drake. Everything goes back to that sorry loser. It may be, maybe not. Who knows? That's just my theory.
Basically saying this is the moment to cash in. They're going to turn that stake into over $1 billion, like you said, and they can use that elsewhere. This also, and this is important, it's going to boost the share prices amid what was kind of like a flat first quarter report.
I just said that. Didn't I just say that?
Even though they really wanted to let everyone know that both the Olivias, Dean and Rodrigo, did pretty well, and so did Justin Bieber in the aftermath of that anticipated Coachella set.
Now, Kelly, would this sale actually affect Spotify at all?
Not really. I mean, it doesn't change how Spotify is going to operate day to day. It's more like a behind the scenes and who owns what, if anything. But like for listeners, it's not going to change. But what I will say, as you referenced, is that years ago, as part of her negotiation process to sign with UMG, Taylor Swift demanded that the company pay out artists regardless of debts that they may have to the company if UMG ever sold off its Spotify stock, which means that there are going to be some artists that are probably going to get millions of dollars because.
Big shout out to Taylor Swift. Who are the artists that are about to get paid because of this lady right here? Kendrick Lamar, Bruno Mars. Who knows? More to come. More to come on this.
The sale.
Yeah, Kelly, let's get to that Taylor clause in just a minute. But you were talking about who owns what. Who actually is trying to buy Universal, and how could it impact?
So this is what I just said. Somebody is trying to buy UMG.
The Spotify stake sale.
Yeah, billionaire investor Bill Ackman and his hedge fund, which is Pershing Square Capital Management, they want to acquire UMG with a proposed offer valuing UMG at roughly 64 to 65 billion dollars.
What? UMG? $64 billion? Can UMG go for $1 trillion? Ah, man, I got to rewind this part right here. Let's go, man.
management, they want to acquire UMG with a proposed offer valuing UMG at roughly 64 to 65 billion dollars. And UMG is always going to attract a lot of interest because it's one of the biggest players in music. And Bill and his guys, they want it.
$64 billion. Come on, man. Let's go. Damn. When somebody actually has the money to do that, that's wild.
Now, Kelly, is it unusual for a record label to have a stake in a company like Spotify, or were the record labels betting on streamers really early?
They were betting on streamers incredibly early because it's not unusual, especially like in those early days of streaming. Like you said, labels really, they took stock and they took stakes in companies like Spotify as a way to kind of hedge their bet on, as the industry was shifting, not kind of knowing what it was going to be and what streaming was going to do and how it's going to affect them. But going forward, we're probably going to see like less of that because streaming, it's not a gamble anymore. It's just the standard. It's how I listen to music pretty much exclusively.
Yeah, Kelly, you had brought up that Taylor Swift clause much earlier. When that was first signed, it felt like a footnote on a contract. Did you think it would be playing out, I guess, this soon?
I did not, but apparently Taylor Swift did, and I think that there are going to be a lot of people that will be thanking her in the weeks to come, once the sale of the stock goes through.
Kelly, thank you so much. Let's bring in Brian West, who has a lot of people's dream job. He's going to talk about Taylor Swift. He's the Taylor Swift reporter for the USA Today network, and we're talking about that Spotify clause for Taylor and what it means for how artists profit from music streams. You say this is one of the most consequential clauses, Brian, Taylor has ever negotiated. What actually is it?
So Taylor has always fought for artists' rights. And so in 2018, when she went to Universal Music Group, she left Big Machine. That's when her entire catalog was sold. She had said that she wanted to have complete control over her albums. And she also wanted this Spotify clause. So what this basically means is when you are a new artist and you sign with a label, they pay upfront advances, recording budgets, and other expenses like marketing. Artists then have to pay that money back. That's a recoupable cost. So what she said in her clause is every single artist with UMG, they would not have to fall under this. And so
That's crazy, man. All you artists on UMG, y'all better shout out Taylor Swift, the real big boss. The real industry. The real big boss. And Taylor Swift and Kendrick Lamar are cool. Taylor Swift and Drake, And individuals try to compare Taylor Swift and Drake as the same. No, they're not. No, they're not. As time continues to go on, you can see Kendrick is bigger than Drake. Taylor Swift is bigger than Drake. A rap artist and a pop artist. That's crazy, man. Shout out to Taylor Swift, man.
From streaming, if you had a standard contract, that money that you got through streaming would go straight to the label. And now it's going to go to artists while they still continue to pay back that debt.
Brian, it's almost like Taylor has a crystal ball when talking about some of these issues. How did she actually get this done, especially way back in 2018? This was 8 years ago now.
Well, she's the most globally streamed artist of all time. They just announced that earlier. She was also 2 years in a row the most amount of streams. So when you have that type of power, you can ask for pretty much anything. She already had a...
So you have that much... You have that... Listen to what he just said. You have that type of power, you can ask for anything. Does your boy have that type of power? The answer is no. The answer is clearly no. Because UMG just said, boy, get your ass out of here. Sue all you want. UMG said, Drake, get your bitch ass out of here. While Taylor Swift, let's talk. Let's negotiate. Think about it.
Proven standpoint within the music industry. A lot of fans call her the industry. And so when she went to Universal Music Group, she was like, if you want me to be one of your artists, these are some of the conditions that I come with.
Wow, Brian, is the clause already in effect or does the sale have to go through?
So it was a part of her contract. So right now, what we're seeing is that this will be true for all artists for UMG.
Yeah, Brian, what does this actually mean for Swift and other Universal artists moving forward?
Hey Drake, you better think. Say thank you, Taylor Swift. You are the man. You are the man.
So I think what this means, at least for the UMG artists, is that they are going to get paid for their streams. That money won't go back directly to the label like with other contracts. What'll be interesting.
So it's another news. I don't want to dismiss this. That one of those lawsuits that accused Drake of botting has been dismissed. Don't want to forget that. So there's something bigger about to happen right here, man.
Is if other labels maybe follow suit, or how this is going to affect the market in general.
Yeah, Brian, you described how advances and recoups actually work in the industry. What actually are they, and what are the other roadblocks that are stopping artists from making money off stream right now?
So again, it's basically when you sign for one of these contracts and you're a part of the label, then all that money for maybe your album, for marketing, even in some cases for promo, the artist does have to pay back those advances. So in this case, that might come from streams. If you get any money from your streams until your debt is settled, that would go to the label. So in this case, it's again going to the artist.
Yep.
So the money is going back to the artist. For the people that are on UMG, think about that. That is a big win. So the reason I'm covering the story, because a lot of stories fly under the radar, and I do not want this story to go under the radar, man. We're real big news. Somebody's trying to buy UMG, and UMG is selling 50% of their stake of Spotify, man. Changes are about to come, man.
Brian, you know Taylor Swift just about as well as anybody. Her acumen for being able to forecast some of these clauses and these decisions, I mean, it's unlike any other artist we've seen in this generation. Just sort of how is her mind working this way when it comes to these contracts, and how is she sort of able to foresee where the industry is going, from your understanding?
So when it comes to Taylor Swift, she is always fighting for artist rights. We saw even with Spotify in 2014, she completely took her catalog off of the site because of low payouts. She returned all of her music back in 2017 once that was negotiated. When she finally went...
That's crazy. Taylor Swift, she took her music off of Spotify. And Spotify, come on back, baby girl. Can you imagine Drake taking his music off of Spotify? Would nobody care? Would nobody care if Drake did that? I'm just saying, man. So the real superstar, Taylor Swift. It is what it is.
Able to buy back her masters, her entire catalog from her first 6 albums. She wrote in a letter that she posted to her site saying she's always fought for artists' rights to make sure that they're fairly compensated, and that it really it makes her happy when she hears from new artists that say like, hey, I've negotiated my contract because of you, because you were one of the first ones. You inspired me to, fight for my music, fight for my catalog.
It really does feel so consequential.
So, end it right there. Like, comment, subscribe. Welcome to the session. Let me know what you think, man. Taylor Swift, the real big boss.